My friends, we have gathered here to praise God and to witness to our faith as we celebrate the life, the love, and the legacy of C.T. Martin.
The Bible tells us that for everything there is a season, a time to live and a time to die.
What I love most about serving with C.T. is that you always knew exactly where you stood.
C.T. Martin was one of the few genuinely humble politicians that I know.
He loved the city of Atlanta with all of his heart, but he loved Southwest Atlanta the most.
He didn't do a whole lot of talking. He did his thing through action.
We must work the works of the one who sent us while it is day. Because night is coming when no one can work. C.T. Martin worked during the day. He fed the hungry, housed the homeless, encouraged the poor, restored the shattered. He taught the children, strengthened the families, supported the schools, directed the policy. C.T. Martin worked while it was day.
You see those young people over there? That's C.T. Martin. Yeah. You see the middle-aged people in the back over there standing up? That's C.T. Martin. You see the culinary arts people back there? That's C.T. Martin. You see the homeless people on the street? That's C.T. Martin. There was never anybody too high or too low for C.T. Martin.
C.T. is someone you could always count on, C.T. And that's not true of everybody.
We are the youngest of the Martin children, and we just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for everybody being here, for celebrating our father. He loved Atlanta.
After you delivered an auditorium, the streetscapes, the urban villages, the doctor parks, after you run the dollar stores out of town, the dope pushers from the corners, the Downing-Toms and Tomasinos from City Hall, after you sacrificed it all, who will carry the torch of Clarence Terrell Martin?
Do not weep for C.T. Martin today, but celebrate with him, for his life was lived with courage, with conviction, with urgency. He worked while it was day.
Say his name, C.T. C.T., we love you. Thank you.
Yeah. Godspeed, C.T. Martin. God bless you, and God bless the Martin family. Thank you very much.
Now, therefore, we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Atlanta, who hereby proclaim this day, May the 22nd, 2021, as Tom Murphy Day in our fair city. In witness thereof, we cause the seal of the city of Atlanta to be here in tune of faith. Congratulations.
We're here today to celebrate Tom Murphy and 40 years of his restaurant Murphy's in the heart of Virginia Highland. But that's unusual these days to have a business owner, locally owned, lives in the area for that period of time. And, you know, he serves a fantastic meal. It's a place people come for baby showers, for brunches, for weddings, and he's been tremendous in giving back to the community as well. I'm just so excited that Murphy's, Tom says that they're back to their pre-COVID business. People are out and about. He's making it a safe place to eat. I've been back here, and it's one of my favorite places, and I hope people will get out as they feel comfortable and back into their local restaurants.
One, two, three, cut. Hooray!
Yeah. This is called Centennial Yards, formerly the Gulch, and of course this whole development was passed in 2018 by the Atlanta City Council. So this is one of the first pieces of development. There's about 15 different parcels that will eventually be developed over the next 10 to 15 years. So the first portion here is at Ted Turner Drive and Peter Street, which is in the Castleberry Hill neighborhood. And there's 162 apartments that have been rehabilitated to its natural historic beauty. So this is an old building that was probably built somewhere around 1910. There are studios and 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. So this development is actually the gateway to further development in Southwest Atlanta. Castleberry Hill has really been flourishing along with other areas in Southwest Atlanta. We're just very excited about the development that's happening in this area. It's going to anchor this end of the lower end of downtown Atlanta from Marietta Street, coming back to Castleberry Hill and going further southwest. So this is something that's very exciting, and we're looking forward to more development that will take place.
We're out here downtown today celebrating the completion of 4 projects that were voted on during our Downtown Decides participatory budgeting process. And we're riding a bike from one location to the other to do a ribbon cutting at each of the 4 transportation projects. Some of the projects we're celebrating today are new bike lanes in the Central Business District, the painting of an island in the middle of the road yellow so people can see it, and some new trash cans in the Sweet Auburn corridor. This is the direct result of citizens participating in this program. This is the first time we've done participatory budgeting in Atlanta, and it puts the power directly in people's hands on how tax dollars are spent, and we're just thrilled with the response and the success of the program so far.
Chastain Park is the largest park in the city of Atlanta. This is the last piece of the Chastain Park path, and it's taken over 25 years since it began, and we are here at a groundbreaking to celebrate this last piece getting ready to start. You know, the phrase, it takes a village, well, it certainly takes a village here. There have been lots and lots of organizations who have helped make this happen. I think there are over 500,000 people and probably about 250,000 dogs that use the path each year. It's an asset that is used by many, many people, from young people walking along to people on bikes to people running and exercising and folks coming after work to enjoy a stroll in the park. And the path has really been a catalyst for revitalizing the park, and so lots of park partners here today with NYO and the horse park and the pool, and it's a wonderful time to celebrate together.
Today we're here for an unveiling. We're unveiling an urban farm, one of the biggest urban farms that will be based here in District 3. And we're here to address the food insecurities that this district has faced for decades. And I think what's so innovative about this idea is that we've partnered with Washington High School, with Greenleaf Farms, We're going to be partnering with the American Heart Association to bring together an ag STEM program that's going to cultivate new, young, fresh blood in urban farming that's going to really be focused on how we can move together as a community in addressing food insecurities within Atlanta. It is time that we take action in our own hands and we start cultivating innovative opportunities like an urban farm, like a grocery retail model where we can pipeline produce into the communities and really help lift up and support our residents.
This is our annual Eco Depot. We do this once a year out here at Charm. We used to do it at Turner Field, and we did it one year, the very first year we did it at the Civic Center. But this is an annual day where you can get rid of those unwanted, but the things that you know your gut says, don't throw this away, but I can't put it in the garbage and I can't put it in the city's recycling blue bin. So this is the Center for Hard to Recycle Materials. So people are out here today, they're bringing their styrofoam, they're bringing their tires. We've got neighborhood tires that are coming, where someone dumped them. We've got tires that are coming. All of your old electronics, just like when you have that old electric toothbrush that died, your old cell phone that died, you know better than to put it in the trash or the recycling. So you bring it out here to Charm. It's in the springtime, which is so proper for spring cleaning, because then you don't throw out that old paint can that's got paint in it. You don't throw out whatever the Raid bottle that you lost the lid to. You can bring them here and we will properly dispose of them. And everybody is showing up. We've got, the outpouring of people coming out to recycle their items properly is just amazing. Look at all these people. I'm so happy.
We're here today at the Maggie Russell Tower to help to provide, along with our partners GenCare and their Executive Director, Councilwoman Carmelita Gum from South Fulton, 80 COVID-19 vaccines for seniors who are here in the building. There are over 400 residences in the Maggie Russell high-rise, but there are about 80 folks who had not received their COVID-19 vaccine. So a lot of the seniors, aren't mobile, meaning they may not have a car or access to transportation, to help them to get vaccinated, to protect them and others who already have been vaccinated in the building from the scourge of COVID-19. It is still important to adhere to the CDC guidelines so that we can beat this pandemic. We are so close to the end of it. Millions of adult Americans have been vaccinated, but we need every American to step up, get a shot in the arm, because it protects yourself, it protects others, it protects our community. The city of Atlanta is still in phase 2. We would like to open up. We can't do so until we have the results in the broader community that our infection rate is beneath 5%, that people are still wearing masks and socially distancing, that everybody is getting vaccinated. The more we do that, the quicker we can go back to normal.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Transportation Committee here at Atlanta City Council. Thank you for joining this call, and I hereby call this meeting to order. My name is Andre Dickens. I have the pleasure of serving as your Transportation Chairman, and now I will have Ms. Pulandini call the roll, but I know we've also been joined by Council President Felicia Moore. Council President, are you here?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I was muted.
Okay, yeah, Council President is here. I see some others are here. I think I have a Council Member of the Vice Chair Overstreet. Are you here?
Yes, Chair, I am here. Thank you.
Okay, so we have Overstreet here. We have Faroki.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Councilmember Westmoreland, you here?
Yes, sir.
And Councilmember I, are you here?
I'm here, but I'm still working on my computer.
Okay. And I know Councilmember Brown texted me and said he will be in and out. Are you in right now, Councilmember Brown? Okay. And what about Councilmember Masakai?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So we have a quorum. Thank you, members, for being here. Now, Ms. Polandini, would you please read the remote meeting statement?
According with OCGA, this Transportation Committee meeting is being conducted remotely as advertised and as in accordance with OCGA 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by dialing 877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the May 21 public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlantagA.gov, the Council's YouTube channel, or the Council's Facebook and Twitter pages via @ETL Council. All presentations are available on the Atlanta City Council Transportation Committee presentation page. The agenda was published and made available on May 21 via atlantacitygA.iqmt.com. In addition, the public was able to submit comments via voicemail at 404-330-6059 between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. the day before this meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendments, substitutes, and informational documents have been distributed to committee members beforehand. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. Now we are going to, I make a motion to adopt the agenda. Is there a second?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. We'll need to amend the agenda to accept the walk-in paper first.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Yes, I make a motion to amend the agenda to accept a walk-in. Is there a second?
Second, aye.
Okay. Let's prepare our vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 68 nays. The agenda has been amended.
All right, now I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Is there a second?
Second, aye.
All right, let's vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 68 nays. The agenda has been adopted as amended.
All right, now I make a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Okay.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 68 nays. The minutes have been approved.
All right, now let's go to public comments.
Greetings, committee members and staff. A special greetings to you citizens and voters of Atlanta monitoring your government in action this election year. Ben Howard, senior advocate, public policy analyst. The federal government plans to spend millions of dollars on infrastructure, on roads and bridges, and overpasses and underpasses and on belt lines. Will residents of MPUR be able to have a discussion about these transportation matters at an MPUR meeting? No, because MPUR does not have and never has had a transportation committee, because the MPUR 9 does not want anything to appear on any MPUR agenda that might attract some of the 20,000 residents to MPUR meetings. The MPUR 9 was not allow the Hamilton Road Phase 3 improvements and amenities to appear on the MPUR agenda. They know that talking about street lights and street striping and safe sidewalks just might cause some citizens to show up at MPUR meetings, thereby increasing the number from 20 to even perhaps 30. We should not expect the MPUR 9 to do anything that might draw some of the 20,000 residents and stakeholders to MPUR meetings. But to counteract those MPUR 9 restrictions, there is an urgent need to enact stronger citizen participation legislation. We can start that movement for stronger citizen participation legislation by getting the Atlanta Planning Advisory Board officers to spearhead the creation of a Citizen Participation Committee. Then the MPUR 9 might be persuaded to jump on board the Citizen Participation bandwagon. May we all be reminded, however, that any attempts to increase citizen participation at MPUR will be met with fierce resistance from the MPUR 9, Antonita Robinson, Collis Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Bernardo Scott, Albert White, Allison Hathaway, Sherry Williams, Cheryl Brown, and the underground supporters of the MPUR 9 syndicate.
I am Brother Antonio Ahmed. I am a soul for spiritual energy, having a good experience. And I call the members of council of the Transportation Committee, Chairman Dickerson, to hear the words I speak. And I call on the constituency right now. I call on the patience. I call on those dark and huge people to recognize that you have the right of transparency in government and in business. Openness and honesty. Mr. Dickerson has said he wants to be mayor. Mr. Dickerson, I have gone to Mr. Bill South Fulton City and asked for work to begin on Butler Road from China Line to Tail through Butler Road going southwest to Concrete Parkway. My representative of Fulton County, Carmelita Moon, has said they are in agreement to have the road paved from China Line to Camp Creek, southwest. Now, Mr. Dickerson and members of the Council of Atlanta, 3 years ago, Mr. Dickerson, when you first come in as a council representative, and before you became the chairman of the Committee of Transportation, I showed you legislation that Mr. Reed also said that on the road from China Line going southeast to Compton should be light full service. And ever since those 3 years ago, I've asked your office, I asked you and other members of Council of Atlanta, why not pave this road? It has been overdue for work on it. There's no transparency, and yet you want to be mad? It's enough for you all to continue to lie to the constituency of darker people of the Southwest and NPU. Why do I specify? Because we the majority of people that live in here. My Caucasian families ask for transparency on behalf of our District 11, one of the oldest districts of the NPUs. We should have fairness and justice. You just had a new mayor, new council willing to do for the benefit of their constituency and Fulton County. I greet you, brother, and brother Muhammad. They are Bayfront Hotel. Assalamu alaikum. All right.
And that concludes our public comment.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for those comments, Brother Howard and Anthony Muhammad. Ben Howard and Brother Anthony Muhammad. We've been joined by Councilmember Antonio Brown. Are you here on the call, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good. So now we have a full quorum of all members. So now let's go to item G, our Atlanta Regional Commission quarterly update by Council President Lisa Moore. She's on the line.
Hello, thank you, and hello to members. I will be brief. For the public, this is on the city's website, and for members, it was also sent to you separately, and I'll try to make it brief. But the update I'm giving today is since the last quarter report, which was on February 24th, 2021. So we had several ARC meetings, and the ones that I attended were the board meetings on the March 10th March, and May 12th. Community Resources Committee on the 12th as well, and the Governance Committee and Executive Session on April 14th. The Pension Board of Trustees meeting on March 24th. And any documents for those, you can find those online, and there's a link there. Some of the key issues are the Metropolitan River Protection Act, and there hasn't been a change to the fee structure since 1985, and so they're looking at that. I should say. Transportation improvements. It's time for we approved an amendment for 2020-2025 Transportation Improvement Program, and I listed a couple of the key projects. The one of note, or two of note, of the three would be enhancing pedestrian infrastructure and improve intersections on Fulton Industrial Boulevard from Lake Court to West Park Place in the Fulton Industrial Boulevard CID in South Fulton, and providing operating assistance from MARTA Arterial Rapid Transit Service on Metropolitan Parkway from West End Station to the city of Hartfield. And then there's a link to the amendments. Regional Development Plan update. We voted to adopt the 2021 Regional Development Plan update, which is required every 5 years. And there are things in it such as regional trail network, regional transit network, great city centers with our LCIs, creating regional river resources, and addressing housing opportunities. Coordinated regional workforce initiatives include several which are listed on here, and there is a link to the presentation. And in other news, the 2021 Link Trip will take place in Chicago from October 27th through 30th. Board members automatically participate, and the Chicago visit will be initially planned in May, but was rescheduled due to the pandemic. And then just a note, Mr. Douglas Hooker, the long-standing executive director of the Atlanta Regional Commission, has announced his retirement effective March 31st, 2022, and the Executive Search Committee is in development, to which I am a member, and we will be looking to the next future for the Atlanta Regional Commission. That ends my report.
Okay, good. Thank you, Council President Moore. Are there any questions regarding this report from council members? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We will accept that report, and to the public, you can find that on our council webpage. All right, now let's move forward. Yes, thank you. Now let's move forward to section
Item number 1, Section H, ordinances for second reading. Item number 1, 21-0-0273. An ordinance by Transportation Committee to amend the FY 2021 Airport Renewal and Extension Fund, Airport Passenger Facility Charge Fund, Aviation Encumbrance Program, 2019 non-AMT GARBs, 2019 B AMT GARBs, 2019 C Airport PFC and Sublien Revenue Bond Fund, and 2019 Airport PFC and Sublien Revenue Bond Fund budgets by transferring to and from appropriations a total amount of $36,325,763.36 for reimbursement of the Airport Renewal and Extension Fund and $1,563,097.00 for reimbursement of the Aviation Encumbrance Program and for other purposes.
Okay, so we will hear from Diodori, from B. Diodori, related to this item. Is the Airport General Manager on the call?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
It took a while for the line to be unmuted. Good morning, Chairman Dickens and Council Member B.B. Adari, Interim General Manager. This is simply to reimburse our need fund for those projects that were PFC eligible that we use our need funds that we will be replacing with PFC refunding.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Thank you. Let's prepare our vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Ms. Ide, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 2, 21-0-0274, an ordinance by Transportation Committee to extend the temporary waiver provisions of Part 2, Code of Ordinances, Chapter 22, Aviation, Article 3, Hartfield, Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, Division 7, Ground Transportation Services, Subdivision 3, Taxicab Generally, Section 22-236, Conditions for Use at the Airport, Subsection 8, for an additional period to expire on December 31st, 2021, in response to the continued effects of the COVID-19 pandemic crisis and for other purposes.
Okay, B. Dory from the airport.
We're requesting just to give the taxi industry a short extension to cure for this pandemic for those driving vehicles that are older than 7 years, but no older than 10 years. We have about 40 such vehicles in the inventory, and so we're asking for an extension to the ordinance through December 31st of this year.
Okay, all right. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
The vote is open.
All right, Ms. Ide, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay.
The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Items 3 to 6, 9 to 10, and 12 to 13 are all way controlled stop papers. Would the committee like to take these as a block?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Item number 3, 21-0-0291. An ordinance by Councilmember Nadal and M. Archibong authorizing the mayor or designee to make the intersection of East Lake Drive Northeast and West Bar Road Northeast an always stop controlled intersection, to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Number 4, 21-0-0292, an ordinance by Councilmember Nadal and M. Archibong authorizing the mayor or designee to make the intersection of LaFrance Street Northeast and Lowry Street Northeast an always stop controlled intersection, to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 5, 21-0-0293, an ordinance by Councilmember Cleta Winslow authorizing the mayor or her designee to make the intersection of Lucille Avenue Southwest and Ashwood Street Southwest an always stop controlled intersection, to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 6, 21-0-0297, an ordinance by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet authorizing the mayor or her designee to make the intersection of Redwine Parkway Southwest and Fairburn Road Southwest an always stop controlled intersection, to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs, reflective striping, digital speed monitoring, and flashing lights at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 9, 21-0-0303, an ordinance by Councilmembers J.P. McIntyre and Howard Shook, authorizing the mayor or her designee to install a three-way stop at the intersection of Lake Forest Drive Northeast and Interlochen Drive Northeast and for other purposes. Item number 10, 21-0-0304, an ordinance by Councilmember Jennifer Ann Ide authorizing the mayor or her designee to make the intersection of Drury Street Northeast and Ponce de Leon Place Northeast an always stop controlled intersection, to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 12, 21-0-0317, an ordinance by Councilmember Cleta Winslow authorizing the mayor or designee to make the intersection of Windsor Street Southwest and Love Street Southwest an always stop controlled intersection, and to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. And item number 13, 21-0-0319, an ordinance by Councilmember Cleta Winslow authorizing the mayor or her designee to make the intersection of Windsor Street Southwest and Stevens Street Southwest an always stop controlled intersection, to authorize the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes.
All right, let's hear from Tina Alexander. I don't think we necessarily have to hear about each one of them, but just a general overview.
Cotina Alexander, Atlanta Department of Transportation. All of the red legislations are for the installation of always stop. All of the intersections have been reviewed by our engineers, and they have varying degrees of obstruction, such as offset and curve in the roadway. We have conducted studies on all locations and are okay with moving the legislations forward.
Okay. All right, I make a motion to approve all of this block of items. Is there a second?
Second, aye.
Let's go with aye.
Aye.
Okay. So let's say that's a second by aye. Let's now prepare the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Brown, how do you vote?
I'm a yay, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. These items are favorable. Our next item is number 7, 21-0-0298, an ordinance by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet authorizing the mayor or her designee to waive Section 138-84D of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances and to install stop signs, speed humps on Mount Gilead Road Southwest between Fairburn Road Southwest and Panther Trail Southwest and for the purposes.
Ms. Alexander?
Cotina Alexander, Atlanta Department of Transportation. We have reached out to the council members' office and asked her to allow us to hold this for one cycle for further discussion about the traffic calming that's necessary on that roadway. As it is a collector street, so it does not qualify for speed tables.
All right, let's hear from Ms. Overstreet. I see you got your speaker buttons pressed.
Yes, I do. Good morning. Ms. Alexander, I am happy to discuss this and hold this for this cycle. I'm pretty sure that I just rode over a collector street with a speed hump. This particular collector is very dangerous, and I'm sure that when you sent your team out, they noticed that. And we have an actual death on our hands that happened there too, and an Atlanta, City of Atlanta employee while working. It's that dangerous. Some people actually have had several cars in their front yard, more than one. It's so dangerous. So it's a cut through, a major cut through, and it's on a street that leads right up to our only district high school. So we've got to figure something out. And I'm willing to do that over the next couple of weeks, figure out what other, what all we can do, as a city to address this extremely fast and dangerous street. And there are a couple curves that are worse than the rest. So we've got to figure something out. Where are we with the three-way stop there? Mount Gilead. Yes, Mount Gilead and well, we can have a meeting. We can meet about it. I don't mind holding, but I am very passionate about making sure that the street is safer. Much safer. Okay, and I an update about the always stop at the conclusion of the call. I just find out where we are with it, getting it scheduled for installation. Okay, so that sounds good. Just let's work on some safety measures, and that community they've all signed a petition, and they deserve us to make that street safe. Okay, thank you. So motion to hold, colleagues.
Okay, and then we have Mr. Masterguy who wanted to speak also. So I got your motion to hold, Ms. Overstreet. Is there a second from somebody else before I let Masterguy speak?
Second, Brown.
Okay. All right, Mr. Masterguy, if you could, you had a question or comment?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to build on Councilmember Overstreet's comments about trying to find a solution that if speed humps don't work on collector streets, we need to find something else because there are lots of collector streets throughout the city, not just in Councilmember Overstreet's district, that are dangerous, that have lots of traffic, that is going very fast. And so it would be wonderful if you could share what the alternatives would be to speed humps, and that we consider implementing those in other locations throughout the city as well. Thank you very much.
Will do. Agreed,
Okay.
Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you for that comment, Mr. Masterguy, and you as well, Ms. Overstreet. There has been a motion by Overstreet and a second by Brown to hold. Let's proceed with the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Hyde, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item.
And Ms. Pulandini, before you go to the next item, I did just want to say, I know Josh Rowan is out this week with some personal matters, but Ms. Alexander, you're hearing council members express the need to do traffic calming, and speed humps may not be allowed on collector streets, but coming up with some things that we all can start communicating with our communities about that are traffic calming measures that can be, what are the options that are available for collector streets? Stop signs, rumble strips, sidewalks, on-street parking, all of these options, they may not work in all communities, but just, I think as we go forward, being able to give us a sense of what are some good examples of what has worked on other streets and what are some good examples. So as we go into the summer, let's kind of educate us on that.
Okay, we will. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Pulandini, next item.
Yes, item number 8, 21-0-0300, an ordinance by Councilmember Mira Froki authorizing the abandonment of a portion of Argonne Avenue Northeast between Ponce de Leon Avenue Northeast and North Avenue Northeast, consisting of approximately 3,980 square feet and being more specifically described in the attached Exhibit A, lying and being in Land Lot 48 of the 14th District of Fulton County, Georgia, waiving certain provisions of the Code of Ordinances and for other purposes. This item will need to be held for a public notice period and public hearing.
Okay, so to do all we need to do is just, well, Mr. Faroki first, do you want to speak to this item, or do we want to just go ahead on and wait for the public hearing and hold?
I'm happy to give some quick, just 15 seconds of context. This is a small portion of city land that is on a block largely owned by Grady Hospital. And this is a government-to-government abandonment or transition of ownership of this sliver of property. But this fully deeded entity needs to go through a public notice period, and we'll take it up, I guess, when that period is passed for formal votes. I'm happy to move to hold it.
Okay. Now, Ms. Polidini, I think we have to amend it to add this exhibit, right? There's a
no. After further review, it was determined that all appropriate exhibits have been attached, so it will just need to be held.
Okay. I think I'm looking at old notes. You guys must have some new notes today. So Mr. Faroki, you said, it sounded like you made a motion to hold?
Yes.
Okay. And who would like the second?
Overstreet second.
Okay. All right, let's prepare our vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Mr. Brown, how do you vote? Mr. Brown, how do you vote? All right, we will mark him away from that.
All right, one moment, please. The vote is closed. 6808, this item will be held. Our next item is number 11, 21-0-0310, an ordinance by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive procurement source selection provisions contained in Section 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, and any conflicting code provisions to authorize the mayor or her designee to amend the concessions agreement and not the car rental agreement to help mitigate the business impact of COVID-19 on concessionaires by further extending the agreements for a period not to exceed 18 months, to further extend rental payment relief for a period of 12 months effective July 1, 2021, ending on June 30th, 2022, to reduce parking fees for up to 400 concessions permit holders for a period of 12 months from July 1, 2021, ending on June 30th, 2022, and to waive storage and marketing fees from July 2021, ending on June 30, 2022 at Hartfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
All right, Mr. Theodore.
Again, good morning, Mr. Chair, Council Member, BBR, Interim General Manager. We are requesting this ordinance for continued relief to our concessionaires for three reasons. The first is financial hardship. We want to allow them time to cure because of inventory losses that they suffered during the pandemic. The drawdown of their operations, the closure of their stores, and now as they're looking at resumption of operations and the cost of labor force to resume full operations. The second reason that we want to continue with this relief is to continue focusing on non-aeronautical revenue generation as we prepare our plan for future development of our concession program. And the third reason is we have started our study, our marketing study, to develop a three-phase approach at our concession development program, and that is we will be visiting best-in-class airports around the nation to determine and to garner from them lessons learned in their development of their concession program. Number two is we're going to develop a phase approach. The first phase being developing a plan for a concession to get the right mix of retail and concession with new spaces that are coming online. The second phase will be developed to a plan to develop our concession for those spaces that are currently vacant, such as our smoking rooms,
And the third phase will be, our plan will be to renew our concession offering or options, or our plan put in place to onboard a new concession program for those contracts that will be expiring during that time frame. So we strongly recommend approval for this continued relief that is put forth in front of this body.
Okay, I have I see some speakers are lined up. Mr. Overstreet and then Mr. Westmoreland.
Yes, I just want to, speak a little bit more about what Mr. B was just speaking on. I am supportive of this legislation, of course, because while we are doing our very best, and we is, the airport and the whole community at large, and that's the whole state of Georgia, are doing our best to return to normal, we're not there yet. And it's going to take just, a little more time. And so we have to allow for that growth process. And in particular, we want to look at a cross-section between empathy and enterprise. And, being that this airport is our crown jewel of the state of Georgia and the whole Southeast, we want to be empathetic to the bottom dollar as well as the situation that we find ourselves in. And we want to be thoughtful about returning back to normal. And I think this is a good way to do that. It allows us to actually set ourselves up to be in a better place to accept the solicitations that are going to be necessary to fill the spots that are empty at the airport in a strategic way. And it also just allows everyone to return back to normal in a graceful way. So I support this. I'm hoping that the council members support it also. I'm certainly urging you to. I've spoken with representatives from major stakeholders such as Delta and the airport leadership team, and also the administration is supportive. So this is well thought out. We have a graphic that I can share with you to further help us over the next 18 months with our path back. And, just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with what needs to happen at the airport. And I also want to add, Chair, that I would like to do, and I thought about this for a couple days, I would like to do a recovery tour of the airport. And that's just so that we can all go as a committee, or anyone on council actually, to see where we are right now in security, PSA, on the concourses, and meet with the leadership team in person at the airport to look at the parking structures, to see where we are with growth there. I think we need a recovery tour. So let's put that in place also. We just want to be thoughtful about every aspect of the airport, including legislation, our concessionaires, our rules that we have to, the airport is highly regulated. So, we have to continue to stay on top of all of the aspects of the airport. It's not just what people see. It's a whole lot that happens behind the scenes also to make sure that we really are the best in class. So I would like to do a recovery tour.
Well, thank you. This is why you are the vice chair of this committee. That is a fantastic idea. I think that's something we should put in place to see how far we've come back, see what the current landscape is at the airport and what challenges still exist. So to walk that with the interim general manager and his team, but also if they can have somebody from concessions, the management of concessions to be with us, so we can kind of talk through what concessions are going through, what rental cars going through, parking, and employees. The challenge they're having with finding employees to come back. So we're going to get to working on that. Ms. Pulandini and Mr. Biadori, we're going to We're going to be getting calendars together on that. And thank you, Mr. Overstreet.
Mr. Chair, we are excited about Councilmember Overstreet comments. We thank her very much, and we are excited of the prospect of you all coming out here to look at our recovery. We have been planning and executing our recovery plan in a very deliberate manner, and not to forget our massive construction program that we got going on here at the airport too.
Yeah, good deal. Okay. All right, we'll get to work on it. All right, we have Matt Westmoreland is next up to speak. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you. A couple questions for this paper. How does this tie into the paper, or does it tie into the legislation that we adopted at some point last, I don't remember exactly when, March, April, May, June, around, I believe it was a 36-month extension related to concessions.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. You can answer. Yeah, you can.
Westmoreland, it does tie. The previous paper authorized for those that have current contract at 36 months extension to their contract, and those that contract that expired 30 months to their contract. This will be in addition 18 months to the 36/30 extension to those contracts.
Okay. And how did we land on 18 versus 12 or 24 or any other figure?
So what I did is, as I evaluate our concession program and look at the phase approach and what it will take in terms of resource requirement to get a world-class, modernized concession program holistically in place, and having spoken with the different commissioner, DOP, OCC, and law on resource requirement and our strategy and our resource demand to get this program in place. We needed some time. We needed a comprehensive study. I just onboarded a new consultant to tell us what we know and also to tell us what we don't know. We need to, as I mentioned, visit best-in-class airport to learn from them, because at the end of the day, as we all want Atlanta to be the best in the industry, this is our focus, to be the best in the industry. Although ACI rated us as the best airport by size and by region in customer satisfaction, also based on our concession offerings, we want to better that. And so when we did the evaluation, 18 months came out at the top of giving us enough time to get what we want, a world-class concession program in place.
And as we look at other airports of our size across the country, that's consistent with what other airports are doing as well in terms of timeline?
To some degree, we are very aggressive in our financial relief or continual relief for our concessionaires. Some airports are very, very hesitant, and as a result, their concessionaires are having a much more difficult time than ours. The other thing I'm focusing on is that I do not want to hurt our non-aeronautical revenue, and so I don't want to shutter concession when we are not ready and make zero revenue from those spaces. So, all of that was taken into consideration as we develop this program.
Okay. And then my last question is, how does a decision like this impact our airline partners? And then what conversations have been had with them or will be had in the future as we continue to work ourselves back to full strength?
So I had a discussion with the senior leadership from the airlines yesterday. They had some discussion with members of the administration. My commitment to them is that I will continue to update them and keep them briefed along the way on our business decision, solicit their input on our business decision. But at the end of the day, we will work jointly together to put together a program that is reflective of Atlanta brand.
Okay, I appreciate all that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Westmoreland. Now, Mr. Pelosi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilmember Westmoreland captured a few of the questions I wanted to ask, so I appreciate him doing so. I share some of the interests that he articulated. One thing caught my attention, Mr. B, which was you indicated part of the decision to propose an 18-month extension is predicated on hiring of a consultant to determine how best to approach our concessionaire program. And it gives me a little bit of pause because I would hope that the decisions that we're making with respect to returning to full participation in revenue are tied more to the return of regular or near regular air traffic, both passenger and flights. And so it feels a little bit disproportionate that we're picking an somewhat arbitrary number in 18 months that may feel a little bit out of sync with a faster return to air travel. I mean, all the news this morning is on a kind of huge surge in traffic this weekend for Memorial Day around the country. I'm sure we'll benefit from that. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts. And I'll support this paper, but I think sometimes what feels lacking is a sense of urgency. We can say best in class all we want, but that's not mutually exclusive to moving quicker. And so I just wanted to get your reflections on kind of the airline industries and the airports kind of increase in passenger and flight traffic and how this fits with the timeline you articulated.
Thank you, Councilmember Faruqi. I'm hopeful, just as everyone in the industry, that it is not an anomaly in the surge of air traffic for this holiday weekend, but we are hoping to see this uptick in this demand through summer into the fall and winter months, and it's good for the industry. This was not an arbitrary decision. As I mentioned earlier, our concession program is a three-phase program. The first phase, we are going to start the solicitation in July, so speed is of essence for us, and that is new spaces that are coming online with the new construction or expansion that we have going on at the airport. The second phase, we will start that solicitation in September of this year, and those are existing spaces that we currently have, such as the smoking rooms and some other spaces that are no longer needed by concessionaires, that we will start in September with the solicitation. And the third phase of which is going to be the largest of the three phases, about 90,000 square feet. We need to be deliberate in that to ensure, because we have over 60,000 square feet of retail spaces that will come to, those contracts will come to, and about 30,000 square feet. I want to ensure that we have the right mixture and the right combination of food and beverage and retail, because e-commerce is dominating the market right now. So hurrying this through and making the wrong decision will have a long-term financial impact on this enterprise, and I do not want us to hurry about be deliberate in that. And we are expecting, based on the extension of the market study and the analysis that we need to do, that in the fall of 2021 winter area, we will start the solicitation for that massive solicitation. And again, resource requirement will be key to that, and having a good plan in place will be key to ensuring for the next 10 years plus a successful and modernized concession program that we got. Our goal is to see that spend rate per and plane passenger is steadily upticking each year thereof.
Okay, Mr. Mazzucat, that completes your comment. Your question? It was Mr. Faruqi, but yes, I do. Oh, Mr. Faruqi, I'm sorry. Next in line is Mr. Mazzucat. I'm scrolling too fast. Mr. Mazzucat?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to build on Councilmember Faroki's comment about potentially setting this not as a fixed amount of months time period, but something relative to a recovery, which could be, shorter than this or longer than the time periods that you have picked. Did you consider doing that? Something like X% of, the previous pre-COVID traffic. Did you consider that kind of arrangement at all?
We did, Councilmember Mascai, and thank you for that question. We did. The question that I had for the team and the question we struggled with is, if we do that, are we setting up ourselves as we do today because we terminate those contracts that are coming up, or come back to you for a month-to-month? Are we setting ourselves up for folks not having a commitment from us and says, I am not going to invest in inventories and in labor force, and I will just give up the space and have those space abandoned, and we do not derive any non-aeronautical revenue out of those spaces. So I prefer that we take this deliberate action to continue generating revenue. As I mentioned earlier in my conversation, the reason why we want to develop a world-class concession program or a modernized concession program.
Is there a combination of the two that you considered? So, X number of months after 3 months, for example, after, there was a return to substantially normal air travel?
No, we did, but once we set this plan in motion, we think it's a good plan, it's a strong plan, it's a doable plan, it's a plan that will ensure our success. Putting something else doesn't guarantee me, or it will probably keep me in my heel, and I'd rather have a known element in front of us and the team putting forth a known element, developing that timeline and that schedule so they understand the requirement, not only from the internal team within aviation, but those that will be supporting us, law, OCC, and DOP, so they could also bring on board additional resource to support this massive solicitation that will be undertaken.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Are there any other comments or questions by council members?
Move approval, Overstreet.
All right. We got a motion to approve. Is there a second? I'll make a second. This is Dickens. All right. Let's move forward with the vote.
The vote is open. Aye, it is a yes.
Mr. Brown? All right, Mr. Brown, please mark him. Oh, he's here now. Yeah.
And the vote is closed. The vote is 68-0 nays. It is favorable, and it will now go on to the Finance Executive Committee. The walk-in paper is the companion paper to this ordinance. Would the committee like to take up the walk-in now?
Yes, please.
Okay. A resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to further amend the concessions agreements excluding car rental companies to address future rent reductions due to decreased employment for the period effective March 1, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2021 in response to the continued effects of the COVID-19 pandemic crisis and for other purposes.
All right, General Manager Viadore.
This legislation is to update the look-back period for the previous COVID-19 relief legislation, that is fiscal year 21. To ensure that the rent that is owed to the Department of Aviation does not increase. We don't want to create an unfair financial burden
So it's just amending the look back period from March through June of 2021.
All right, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Overstreet, second.
Mr. Brown, are you here? All right, he's not. Mark him away.
The vote is closed. 6 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Moving on to item number 14, 21-R-3501, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to execute a project management agreement with the PATH Foundation, a Georgia nonprofit corporation, for the PATH 400 Trail from Wayuka Road to Mountain Way Commons to Loriden Drive, PI 0015997, and to execute any required agreements for project participation and implementation in an amount not to exceed $3,817,216.78. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Mr. Chair, this is Councilmember Winslow, and I don't have a question about this paper. Good morning. I just had a paper earlier in the meeting. I was not on the phone, and I think it was number 2. It was just for stop signs. I just wanted to see if it had gone through. That's all.
Yes, Ms. Winslow, we approve your stop sign.
Oh, okay. Well, it's important for the community. Okay, so thank you so much. But I've enjoyed listening. Okay, all right.
So my apologies, I didn't recognize you earlier, but yes, we.
I was enjoying listening to the comments and the conversation. That's why I didn't say anything. I've been on the call for about 45 minutes, so I've just been enjoying listening. So thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
All right. Ms. Pulandini, refresh me again. What number were we at?
We're on item number 14, and the caption was just read in.
Okay. Ms. Alexander, are you dealing with this in Josh Moore's absence?
I believe Ms. Jessica Fulton will be speaking to this item.
Okay.
Good morning, Jessica Fulton, Deputy Commissioner, ACLDLC. This PMA will allow us to move forward with the PATH Foundation to complete implementation of the PATH 400 Trail project from Wayuka Road to Mountain Way Commons to Lorden's Path. PATH Foundation will be responsible for implementing design, permitting, construction management, and construction-related work necessary to design and build this project. This project is an approved T-SPLOST project and is funded by the T-SPLOST program. We support moving forward with the legislation.
Okay, great. Are there any comments by council members?
Motion to approve, Maskey.
All right. Motion to approve by Maskey. Is there a second, Ms. Hyde? Or Mr. Brown? I know your voice for it.
Second. What's more?
Okay. Let's prepare our vote.
One moment, please. The vote is open.
All right, listen, Ms. Hyde or Brown, are you guys on? Okay, let's mark them away on this vote.
Vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Our next item is number 15, 21-R-3502, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta consent to the assignment of the concession lease agreement FC 10524 ATL Network Entertainment Broadcast System at Hartfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport with AC Holdings Inc. and for other purposes.
All right, B. Adore.
This is the assignment of the lease with all these terms intact, Mr. Chair. Similar to the assignment that we did a couple of weeks ago with C.W. Matthew and McCarthy.
Okay, this is for the broadcast system. Okay, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Overstreet.
All right, let's vote.
The vote is open.
All right, we're going to mark Mr. Brown as ayed away on this one as well.
The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Our next item is number 16, 21-R-3502, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or the designee to execute cooperative purchasing agreement CP-S-1210226 Alfresco Enterprise Document Management System with our Media LLC pursuant to sections 2-1602, 2-1604, 2-1606, and 2-1608 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, utilizing the General Services Administration contract number GS-35F-0891C to purchase electronic document management solution software and maintenance support services at Hartfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport for a term of 3 years and an amount not to exceed $513,403.14. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
All right, Mr. Theodore.
This is to enter into a 3-year agreement with the General Services Administration vendor Media for electronic document management services for us to store, retrieve, and archive documentations. We currently have this service in place, but that contract will expire, and we want to enter into a new agreement.
Okay, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Overstreet, second.
Okay, let's prepare the vote.
The vote is open.
Okay, and we will continue to mark ayes and Brown away until they come back and say they're here.
The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 17, 21-R-3504, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to submit amendments to the Federal Aviation Administration for Passenger Facility Charge Fund application numbers 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, and 21 for Hartfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
Mr. Theodore.
This is just to true up project costs to our majority in interest agreements with the airline, and we're required to submit any true up amendment to the FAA, and this is seeking your improvement. Some of the costs in each of the application have either went down or have gone up, and there's a listing of those projects, a number of projects, and the reason for those variance in cost, because normally when we do submit an MII to the FAA for approval, we submit for those projects based on data as planning or maybe it's schematic design but not fully 100% design document. So there's variation in those costs.
Okay. Let's, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Overstreet, second. vote is open.
All right, Mark, aye, and Brown away.
The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Our next item is number 1821-R-3505, a resolution by Transportation Committee to fund the Plain Train Tunnel West Extension project component for project number SC9277, Plain Train Tunnel West Extension Phase 1 Progressive Design Build at Hartfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport with Clark Atkinson Technique, a joint venture, and an amount not to exceed $70,298,000.00 for construction services. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
All right, Mr. Biadori.
Sorry, this is to add the remaining construction fund to the Plain Train Tunnel West Extension, $70,298,000,000 as we continue the construction progress of this massive project we got going on here.
All right, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second,
Second, Overstreet. Okay.
Okay, right, a second by Mascate.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Our next item is number 1921-R-3506, a resolution by Transportation Committee to fund the next phase for project number SC-10751, the Plain Train Tunnel West Extension vehicles at Hartfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport with Bombardier Transportation Holdings USA Inc. for the design and purchase of 14 new plain train vehicles in an amount not to exceed $56 million. All services will be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
All right, Mr. Biadori.
This request is to purchase 14 new cars for adding to the existing fleet that we have. The existing fleet is capable of, or the existing system have a fleet, not including reserve and a vehicle, to run 11 4-car trains. These 14 vehicles will give us the capability to add 15 4-car trains in the system when the Plain Train Tunnel Extension project is completed and these 14 cars are purchased and added to our existing fleet.
Great. I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Allen.
Man, who did say that was? That was everybody. That was Westmoreland.
The vote is open.
Okay, and we will mark the others absent or away.
Vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable, and that concludes our legislative items.
Okay. So we've completed our legislative items. We've had our public comment, our presentations, our walk-in. I don't think we have any other business. Council members, you have any comments or questions or statements? Seeing none. All right. Thank you, everybody. We stand adjourned. Have a good Memorial Day.
Thank you.
Safe Memorial Day weekend, everybody.